Over to you, Jodie.
Thanks very much, Gordon, and welcome everyone. It's great to see so many of you here on this call this morning. As Gordon said, my name's Jodie Giles. I'm the Head of Innovation on Prospering from the Energy Revolution at Innovate UK. And yeah, thanks very much for inviting me to speak. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Prospering from the Energy Revolution programme, what we've learned, how this is influencing what we do next, and why local authorities are key to local net zero delivery. So Prospering from the Energy Revolution is the largest group of local energy projects ever delivered in the UK. And initially we set out in 2018 to prove investable business models for smart local energy systems across heat, transport and electricity. And we wanted to intelligently link up different types of energy supply, storage and use locally, enabling new services and creating efficiency, cutting emissions and costs. Energy smart places can speed up local green growth and build local prosperity and resilience. It can help use energy more efficiently and reuse waste, save carbon emissions, reduce pollution, improve health, limit costly upgrades to our national energy networks, and make the most of the latest technologies. It can help also enable our towns and cities and regions to contribute to the national net zero journey with local answers. As Gordon said, we've invested quite a lot of money in this programme. We've been running since 2018, and since then we've invested £104 million in 93 different projects with 301 partner organisations participating. So it's a huge programme. We've got 3 demonstrator projects, and those are Leo, ESO and Reflex, and you're going to hear more from Tina on ESO in a bit. We've also got 10 detailed designs, and Kate and Phil are going to talk to you more about one of those, or some of those. We've got 16 key technology component projects, 23 data and digitisation projects, and 40 other projects, including the Energy Revolution Integration Service that Gordon mentioned. And through that, we funded the Net Zero Go programme and a lot of the Energy System Catapult work on local area energy planning. We've also funded an academic consortium, so Huel's going to talk more about some of the learnings coming out of Energy Rev. And it's the final few months of PIFA now. So we've got our final event on the 28th of February. It's in Manchester in person. The in-person tickets are sold out, but we'd really love you to join us online at that. There's online sign-up still available. So if you'd like to join us at that, please do come along. We are in the process, because we're in the final few months now, of pulling together our learnings and impacts. And we are pretty much publishing insights and reports daily at the moment. Gordon's just mentioned a few of those. So I'm going to pull out a few highlights from some of those. So far, I mentioned the £104 million that we've invested, and that has leveraged an additional £783 million of co-investment from equity and match funding, showing the potential new market opportunity and growth. And that really shows that if you put a little bit of public money into this space, you can leverage quite a lot of private finance, which the Committee on Climate Change have told us is going to be absolutely essential if we're going to achieve our net zero goals. We're collating our carbon and bill savings now, ready for the programme closure in March. Energy Systems Catapult have been working really hard on our evaluation reports, and some of those were published yesterday, and Rebecca's going to pull out some of the key points from those in a bit. We know that place-based solutions target key policy problems of heating, buildings and transport, which are the largest contributors to emissions and can only be addressed locally. You can't address these issues nationally, it just can't be done. So this is an opportunity for new skilled jobs and upgrading our homes and heating, and developing new transportation infrastructure and supporting homes and businesses to use energy in a much smarter way. This growth is obviously going to require investment and proactive public and policy support, but done right. And Deloitte say that it could create more than 300 million jobs globally by 2050. We've done a bit of research in the UK on the market opportunity here, and we did a report last year with PwC, and that showed that we could unlock £825 billion of wider societal benefit by taking a local approach. The benefit is halved if you take a place agnostic and centralised approach to this type of delivery. So the societal benefits include levelling up life experience across the country through productivity, health and pollution benefits, and much, much more. So critically, the same report indicates that it's much, much cheaper to decarbonise where we live by taking a place-based approach rather than a place-agnostic approach. So places and regions and localities are super important here. The key themes and areas we're focusing on and working closely with government on to give them the evidence they need to support us more to deliver and achieve our net zero goals are policy and regulation, data, finance and skills and capability. And particularly on that skills and capability one, we've heard a lot from local authorities that we don't have the resource and the capability and the skills necessary to deliver this. So we're particularly focused on working with the government to unlock that and focus on how we can support local authorities more. And the Net Zero Go platform is a part of that. So we're going to hear a lot more about that today. We're taking all of the learnings from Prospering from the Energy Revolution and applying that to our new Net Zero Living programme. And this is a £60 million programme for place-based, whole system, net zero delivery, and it's focused very much on the non-technical barriers. We know that we have the technology to do this. This is a non-technical issue, and most of the things that I've spoken about, the data, the finance, the skills and capability, are the non-technical aspects that we really need to support more on next. And so Cara is going to talk a little bit about that programme and why it's so focused towards local authorities. We know that these projects all require strong and collaborative teams of people across the public sector, businesses, investors, communities and energy network operators. And we know that local authorities are really pivotal. You are key conveners. You're really good at bringing partners together, at planning a net zero roadmap, at delivering on low and no regrets activity. So planning and delivering at the same time are going to be really essential here, because we don't have time to just plan and then deliver all our projects in sequence. It's going to be much more iterative and messy. And some of those low and no regrets activities that we've seen local authorities delivering really well are things like retrofit and heat pumps in off-gas grid areas. Local authorities have already also proved that you're really good at helping attract investment, de-risking projects, avoiding cherry picking of the more lucrative projects. So developers coming in and developing renewables projects and then not being able to fund retrofit, for example. They're also really good at providing long-term certainty for supply chains and focusing on better outcomes for people in places. All the local authorities that I work with already have really strong connections to the community and understand what's going to work and what won't work. And we know that local authorities can play a critical role in ensuring that everyone benefits from the energy transition, that it's fair, and that the benefits of smart local energy systems are realised for everyone, including those in fuel poverty. So I hope you're getting the message that local authorities can play a really central role in smart local energy systems, or they can take a more secondary role and making sure that the community interest is accounted for without getting more involved in the technical operation and delivery of the systems themselves. But the evidence from our programme from the last 4 years and from Prospering from the Energy Revolution participants is that projects with strong, ambitious local authority leadership and involvement lead to much, much better outcomes for people. Our energy system is intrinsically linked to our prosperity. The more we take ownership and control of our energy system locally, the greater our resilience, our wealth and our health. Time and stasis is the enemy here. Not doing anything isn't an option. We all have a choice about how we respond to the climate crisis and whether or not we realise some of the benefits and opportunities I've talked about. So I really hope today's lineup of inspiring stories and projects is going to inspire and encourage you to be courageous and bold and take a leadership position on delivering net zero in your places to create thriving, resilient and prosperous communities. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jodie. And thanks for correcting me on the investment there. I didn't realise that we'd gone further than 102.5 million. So great, thank you.
No worries.
enormous project and enormous outcomes that we're about to now explore with some of the projects. So